This is just a really straightforward dress. The thing with this particular dress is it doesn't have a zip in the back, and the client wanted to take in the sides. Now the thing is that taking in the sides, of course, because it doesn't have a zip, particularly when you're tapering it in quite a bit, means that it could be difficult to get this particular section where it's been tapered in over the body. So what I suggested was that it had a standard centre back seam, and I said to her, what if I open that out and just put a split in the back, so that all of a sudden then it opens it out, so that even though it's tapered, she's got that split at the back. Why I'm doing this video is that if you did want to put a split in the back, I've seen a few attempts by people, and the mistake that they make is they only open it up enough for the split, and that's it, and it doesn't sit properly. Now there's a reason for that, and that is that you've got to allow the fabric to kind of open out at the seam. So what I do, and I'll show you in a sec, is that I open it probably 2 inches more than what I need it to be, and then I will overlock the edges, and then I will close that back down again, and then I can turn that back. And by doing that, what it does is it allows each seam on each side to sit flat. If you turn that back, if I turn this back here, and because these two seams have been stitched together, if I turn that back there without doing that, what's going to happen is and I do both sides, it's going to pucker. You can't do that. So it's like, you imagine if you just get a piece of paper and you slit it, and then you try and, turn the two sections that you split out, into a seam. It's not going to work, is it? So I'll show you how I'm going to do that, and hopefully if you've got some dresses and you want to put splits in, or trousers in the sides, then you'll just use this method. So you can see there that it's overlocked, and like I said, could you imagine if you tried to stitch that back, then that's just going to pucker, and you can see all that. But what we're going to do, I've undone this about 2 inches more. I'm going to overlock this edge, and then I'm going to stitch this down, back down probably to about there, and then what that means is that when I now turn those back, it's going to be like that. So part of this up here will be able to sit flat. Okay, makes sense? So I've overlocked one side, and I've gone as close as I can to the top. So I started at the top, and I've gone down because I want the top of the overlocking to be on the right side. So on this side I'm going to start at the bottom, now when you get up to the end, you want to take it slow, and I'm moving this out of the way because I don't want to catch that section. And now I'm going to lift it out of the way. So I've gone as close as I can to the top on both sides. Now, the last thing I want to do, because see, I've still got this little bit here, this little gap that's not overlocked. So what I'm going to do is bring it together. Now what I suggest you do here is lower the blade. Okay, So I've putting the blade out of the way, and that means that I'm not going to cut it because I'm working in such a very, very small area. I don't want to cut this overlock in here. So raise the foot, put it in, and that should be about it. Move that away, and hopefully I've done it. Yep, good. There it is. So that section there now is nice and neat. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is stitch this back down to here like I said, and then I can open this out and it will sit flat. So I've pressed this flat after I stitched that seam down. So I started up here and I've come down to here because I wanted a 3-inch hem. By the time I put that up, like a 3-inch split, I'm sorry. By the time I put that up, then I'll have that nice neat split there. I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. But you can see now that this split, these seams being open, allow that to sit flat, and then I've just pressed it over to the side there, so that when you look at it on the other side, it's nice and neat. So that's how you do a split. Now I will do the hem and it'll be finished. So this is the final split. You can see how that's showed you before. I've bagged that back on itself and it's got a blind hem. So that looks quite nice, coming from something that was just like this to now having a split in it. The lining is actually higher than that, so I didn't have to do anything with the lining.